Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's special No FOMO Charts, Stocks and Crypto TA live stream. Today it's actually Monday, May 13th, 2024. Going to do a special stream, especially with all the meme stock trading that happened today. So just a quick reminder, this is the watch list that's going to continue for this week. We still have Home Depot earnings, Cisco, Walmart, Applied Materials as well. The data that will affect the stock market in particular, we still have the PPI, inflation data, CPI, core PPI, core retail sales, as well as this other data here. And the meme stock volatility continues as well as earnings. So the S&P 500 was pretty quiet today, obviously. But I did want to remind people that my idea of this potential double top, it's really dependent upon the earnings. That's why it just kind of was really quiet for 2 days here. Right below 526 is the resistance point. So if the data is good, then I'm expecting some kind of maybe breakout continuation. If the data is bad, then probably a pullback. There's a lot of open space here. I want to watch out also for a potential weekly double top. That would be bad for the stock market in particular. That's just something that I'm closely monitoring. In the 4 hour, we're still in the up cross. So even if it pulls back, there's still a chance for another bounce later. But it's still happening around the support, possibly around 512. NASDAQ also reaching a resistance point off of the bounce and still in this higher high, higher low pattern, waiting for those earnings and that inflation data on the daily. 4 hour is in a relative, not quite overbought area, but approaching that. On the hourly, it is still in that neutral zone of the RSI. Could probably just draw this right here and it's riding that top side resistance, which turned into a support line. So as long as we hold above 440, we are okay. On the weekly chart, just want to make sure that we do not get rejected below 447 this month. Dow Jones already had a little bit of that sell-off approaching that support level 393. You can see this strong level $400 is going to be our resistance on the top side. And this was our double bottom. So basically we're inside of a parallel channel going sideways. And we can draw this here. And like that. So if it pulls back, we can see the support level of 389. And also want to make sure on the weekly long term, this is not going to turn into a lower high to the point where it starts crashing. We do not want that. Bulls do not want that. Healthy pullbacks only, no rejection. Hello. Thank you for watching and for commenting. We'll get to the meme stock soon. So we'll finish off here. Go to IWM. IWM, the smaller growth stocks on the daily. Still just riding that support level to the top side. Finally broke out of this gigantic parallel channel to the side. So the very, very long-term target is about 20% to the upside. And I still have that target over here in the X, this blue over here. But it's going to take a considerable amount of time, maybe 6 months to a year. But as that's something to look out for. It's going to affect some of the smaller stocks in the market. But something, the bearish scenario, just in case we have extreme bad news for the rest of this month for some whatever reason, this could potentially turn into a head and shoulders bearish. It's starting to set up. So we just need to see higher highs and higher lows to get out of here. In terms of, this could also be some dirty psychological terms of not textbook cup and handle. That's what I'm trying to say. But if it's quote unquote dirty, it's probably not a cup and handle. But just want to keep that in mind. Okay, let's just jump right into the meme stocks. That's what everyone's here. We're all trading that today. So GME, GameStop, the ultimate original meme stock, had an incredible rally today and a gap up. It's actually in the post market, there was additional Volatility is just an amazing day today. So GameStop, just want to remind people that this was a short squeeze. It was a technical setup, which was continued with the short squeeze. Okay, so the past it's actually been already like almost 2 weeks. So we had an amazing day today. At the highest, it was up like almost 90% at the way end of the day, and then it crashed, and then a bit of a bounce at the post market. But I just want to reiterate the risk to reward ratio concept before we get into the analysis is to always have a 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio for stock trading, at least 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio. And position sizing is the key. Okay, so in the last example, pretty much put the 10% to 12% stop loss on the bottom side of the example and said if I was forced to trade this, I would reduce my position side, put a 12% or 11%, 10% stop loss, and then let it go. And then what happened in real life? We went plus 90% from that breakout. But I want to remind people that the move starts in the pre-market, okay? So like even here, 1 o'clock a.m., 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock a.m. So that's European traders who have access. And then starting here about 4, 5, 6 my time, which is about 6, 7, 8, 9 before the market opens. There's where the real action starts, right? And then when we had the 6:30 breakout, it was already up 35, 40%, 50% overnight. So I just want to remind people that the pre-market price action is going to matter a lot with these meme stocks. So the final close of the day could change rapidly in a matter of 12 hours overnight. Okay, let's get into the analysis after that preamble. We're still in a golden upcross here on GME. Still on a golden upcross. This is hourly golden upcross. 4 hours also golden upcross. We had a symmetrical triangle breakout, the retest of that actual support line, the continuation today. Now, the targets that I'm going to put up here, when meme stocks rally, they rally. Easiest thing to do is put a Fibonacci from the 2020 low all the way to the 2021 high. So where do we touch? We touched the 618. We gapped up into the 618 today. So just kind of beware of that. Is if this is, I'll say it in 2 ways. If this is not the mega rally of 2020 version number 2 in terms of trying to go hundreds of percent, that might not happen again because of now everyone's aware of the GameStop and short squeeze potential. So in a realistic scenario, I don't think it's going to crash down in 2 days. I don't think so. But it's probably going to stay around here and fight around here. It's probably going to be something like 2022 setup where we can see that it gaps up like 130 something percent in this right here in this example. And then it fades down just because nothing's happening, right? The difference this time, another time had went 100%, but it took a considerable more time. We do not have the golden cross on the daily. Okay, so that's why I'm going to warn people here on this stream that sometimes you have a short squeeze, and then when it's over, it's over. So just be mindful of that when it happens. Let's redraw the fib. So let's really try to get granular here. I want to try to help people with the analysis because I'm sure this is going to be trading for probably the rest of the month for a week or two. Now that we're in the 618, I could use a Fibonacci extension to try to estimate where the next targets would be. We passed the 1272, that's good. 1618, also good. 2618, good. Into the mega 618. I'm reading a bunch of numbers here, but using this and then using the big numbers. So We know 38.16 is the high of today. And so that's going to be the barometer resistance of if we gap up higher than 38.16, I mean, it's probably going to have bullish continuation. But that's all we have to do. Just play support and resistance and then try to buy on a pullback. That's all I had to do today. And it was a phenomenal day for trading. Just buy on a 5-minute pullback. This pullback was a little bit trickier, but you can see, right, 5 a.m. pullback even right before market open, 9:30 Eastern, right? And then you just had mega rally. So if somebody is just going to trade the open market hours only, got to really set up for tomorrow. So get this support and resistance trend line set up. We can automatically see this is how I do it. $36.74, $38 on the top side. Mark those as my resistance. The low of the close, 29, 28, 27. Hopefully it's not going to crash that low. But you can see I can already not predict, but forecast perhaps if this dumps in the morning, there's going to be a support level right here, right below 30. That's something I'm looking for, maybe the first entry of tomorrow. Because you see that as it hits that support level, it's going to potentially bounce. But you go to 1 minute here. Is this true? For RSI, just to verify on stream. I like to wait for momentum. So for example, if I was going to trade, let's say from the morning until now, somebody could catch this and just put a stop loss like right here, right? Try to catch that dump. It got oversold. Fall out of stochastics. Let me bring up some other indicators that I like that helps is stochastic and Stoch RSI. Because sometimes that gets oversold first, right here in this vertical before the RSI does, right? So I know a lot of traders, they use Stoch and stochastic RSI only for day trading, but also throw up a VWAP up there because we're day trading. So it bounced off of VWAP and the stop loss was only about 3-4%, and then it had ended up going like 40% in that morning. Now, if somebody missed that, then the other spot to look at here would easily be double bottom plays or some kind of basing play, right? So this turned into a double bottom right above 27.50, and there's actually a triple one at the 10:30 my time, right? So 12%, 10%, 10%. So then the ATR probably about 5% in terms of that stop loss, right? And then at the last part of the day, I actually traded the middle to the last part of this day and really good gains, right? Traded this part because there's a higher low, right? So just open this up. Establish this double bottom support right here. Higher low continuation, W. Great trade. Then the second trade, which is the last trade of the day, was after this crashed, I patiently waited here in this GameStop right here. Just wait for an oversold. I was on a 2-minute time frame. Just wait for it to hit the support trend line. It got oversold. Then this momentum started showing up. Let me get rid of this. Momentum started showing up, and I said, hey, in the past, this might not happen tomorrow, but in the past, GameStop has had moves in the post-market or the last hour, first hour, last hour of the day, pre-market and post-market. So from that experience, I knew, okay, dodge this bullet, right? This is a resistance from the morning and this support, right? Support, 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 resistance, resistance, resistance. So where did I go long? Boom, right here. Long that. Put a stop loss. I only needed 3% stop loss and took half my profit here, 30.64, and then the rest of the profit, 32.33. How did I know how to do that? Because in earlier today, remember 10%, 12%, something like 11%, got the last, you could just feel it out. You could use indicators too, 5%, and then this last part. So that's probably going to be the play for tomorrow too. Is in the morning, it's going to be super volatile, right? Pre-market again, probably there might be these kinds of sell-offs, like 15-20% to downside, then a bounce up to the upside like this. But if I'm a long trader, then I have to decide kind of before the market opens, am I going to try to play breakouts today, meaning like this type of setup, breakout on the open, or am I going to try to play oversold bounce, which is a little bit less, that's way more risky, right? Because sometimes when the meme stocks go, I mean, they just break out, and they just go. But I like my personal style, which I was trying to explain last stream, is I'm more of an oversold than a pullback type of trader. So I don't go super aggressive on breakouts unless there's some amazing, incredible setup. So again, to wrap things up for tomorrow and for GME is just establish our resistance levels. There's even a $40. So resistance, $40, $38, $37. The 618 level is $35. Still in the golden up cross on these time frames. And we almost had a head and shoulders to end the day. It was almost a little spooky there, but it did not close. And then we bounced off of that. So just watch out for this. We might have another gap up tomorrow. And that's because global traders might be setting up for it, right? 15-minute, we bounced off of that. 5-minute, we bounced off of it as well. So just the same exact setup might happen tomorrow. It's just maybe something to watch out for, right? We were edging up in terms of the trend line here in the price. And if that happens again, you can see it duplicating, right? Gap up, gap up, gap up overnight, super overbought conditions, crash, and then there's going to be that one bounce play, maybe a second bounce play, and then have to be patient for the rest of the day. That might happen, but anything is possible. Let's go to AMC. Also trade AMC today. Now, AMC, let's erase this. AMC on the daily, there was a setup, right? Because if we're looking at this is the original meme stock. If I start off on a weekly, it's like the lowest price of all time, and it was oversold on a weekly. So there is a sign here for some time. I've been watching this for like a year that something could happen. And if I drew this trend line, there's the proof, the breakout. Very descending wedge pattern, and when that breaks out, it's going to explode. On the daily leading up to it, was there a setup? There was. It was a higher low. And again, just like GameStop, the upside down head and shoulders with the neckline breakout. So it was possible to get into this early. Just want to remind people of that. There's a 4-hour oversold here 1 month ago, and that's where the algos bought, algorithms. So what's happening right now? Still in this golden up cross. AMC went with like 100% today, and it backed off though. It was incredible. Incredible. When you have this 1 hour, 15-minute golden up cross, this is what I'm talking about. Is it up crosses? This is a strategy. It's up cross. It's uptrending in the pre-market. It golden crosses and then usually retest some support down here. And this is every trader knows this. Every day trader is buy the first pullback and then let it go. It's buy the first pullback. And if somebody did that, they would have made 93% at the end of the day. So I came into the mid to the end of the day today because I was doing other things this morning, but it's okay. And had phenomenal gains today. And again, when something goes this volatile, is just got to understand, set my stop loss, chart this thing right there. Support line, trend line, support resistance line. Use some EMAs as support. When it's trending, we could see support, support, support. Even the last one, support, Morningstar. So we almost had that head and shoulders at the end of the day. That was kind of a little bit worrisome, but then we blasted off in the post market and it's quieted down. Usually like the last 30 minutes to, so maybe like my time, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., which is 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We had that 20%. So the same thinking is going to apply. Let me get the Fibonacci's up. quite a lot of volatility. It's amazing. Okay. So the 618 is way up here, $110. Is it going to hit that 618? Maybe. If AMC turns into the greatest meme stock again. I traded AMC way back here in 2021. I still remember I bought this side right here. $12 range and had just greatest trade of my life. But in terms of right now, if we zoom in, it doesn't look like it's going to hit that 618 like tomorrow, but it could over time. So in this case, I have to use pivots. So open up some pivots. Zoom in. Try to get some levels here for you guys. 576 resistance, 644. We hit $6 at the end of the post market today. $7. Let's do 50 cents on the way up. And on the left side, you can see we're starting to have this previous levels of resistance for tomorrow's preparation. So even up here, there's gaps all over the place. First resistance, 744, 914, and $10. A free indicator from TradingView is just called gaps. And you can easily see that. So once we gapped up before, you know it's probably going to be a big runner in the market. This red one down here. Let's try everything purple so we could see better. So you can see the next significant resistance, we passed 5, we passed 587, 657, we just tapped that today. So $7 is that target. So to prepare for tomorrow, I know this is really going super long. I apologize for that. But I'm trying to give people like day traders, swing traders, investors, everyone the info, is just watch out for the support play. So in terms of how far can it pull back, on this 15-minute, possibly 34 cents to about 70 cents, which could be approximately about 6, again, to 12%. That's my stop loss, like 6%, 12% as like a longer-term day trader. Try to hold the gains. So I'm trying to target tomorrow like 25, the additional 50%. But it's all going to be up to the post-market, pre-market trading as my setup. Because if this already crashes like in the morning before the market opens, then probably just play that one oversold bounce for the first morning and then just get out of there and wait for something else to establish. Because the bearish pattern, which is really something to watch out for, is if it crashes and then does not break the previous high of the previous day, then that can establish some kind of bearish pullback. Okay. So even though I showed the daily, all the day traders were looking at 2-minute, 5-minute, 15, 1-minute setups for tomorrow. And personally, I like oversold conditions because I like how the algos technically, they like to bounce there. But I'm very closely watching that support, 575, $5, $4. And just be aware that there can be a lot of volatility right here. In just 30 minutes, negative 20%. Negative 20% volatility in 30 minutes. So this is not a YOLO, put in all your money in an account on these trades. Just disciplined and play support, position sizing, risk management. Okay, just a couple last ones. I'll try to go way faster. I didn't realize 20 minutes. Is the other meme stocks like NVAX and KOSS. So NVAX was actually an earnings play, short squeeze, and it has continuation today. But just want to tell people that there was a higher low here for a longer term setup, just for education. There was a higher low setup and giant W. And then when you combine that with some earnings release that's incredible, right? You have a setup. So I'll just give people, it's right into the gap fill. NVAX, the original, one of the original vaccines from a couple of years ago, COVID, and we had this support level, right? So that's why support and resistance long-term, it matters. And if somebody is struggling and trying to find setups and like, why is everything getting away from them, is just try to find these setups ahead of time. Then you could swing trade it or you could day trade it. But in terms of levels, 618 is way up here, $113. It might not ever get up there. But next level gap up, 15, 30, 25, and 44 if it happens to go there. Support to the downside, $10, $8, and then $7. The other meme stock was KOSS. KOSS headphones. KOSS as well on the daily got oversold with a upside down head and shoulders play longer term and tapped off of that double bottom 30 RSI. So I still have KOSS and all these tickers in my watch list. I usually don't go over it on stream, but they're hot right now. So trading this, definitely gapped up above there. That's good. They're still both in the golden upcross here, so just got to play support. So these levels for tomorrow. $6.52, $8, $10 for tomorrow. And if I were to trade this, for example, like let me zoom in here. So again, we had a golden upcross. This happened like 7 o'clock in the morning Eastern. A lot of volatility, so just watch out for that. The pre-market, post-market can just bounce around like crazy. But then once it starts getting closer to market open, like 9 o'clock, you start to see that people are trying to sell things off, and then people immediately buy the support area. Have that first hour market volatility, first 30 minutes. Actually, this is only first 30 minutes. And then when it gets extremely overbought, you can use Bollinger Bands. Sometimes I like to add Bollinger Bands and Keltner channels and add some VWAP in there. Get some VWAP. You can also add in volume profile. I like to use session profile for visible range. And we can see it was going to gap up into like the 5-minute area. I mean, excuse me, the $5 area. And then once it gets up to like 550 in terms of visible range, there's like nothing. So that's why we went way out of like 95% way out of the standard deviation. That's why sometimes this is a little trick I like to use is I like to use both Bollinger Bands and Keltner channels. They're very similar. You can check the source code or Google for how it's calculated, but you can see on the chart that once this thing gets super extremely out of the blue ones, the red one is Bollinger Band. They changed the color. Keltner channel is blue. So when it gets out of both of them, that's something is really wrong there. It's an anomaly. It's like 95% chance it's way out of range. So then I would take my profit there. So yes, somebody could do the Bollinger Band to Bollinger Band in and out strategy, but in terms of, again, you're just buying a support level, it's uptrending, just do this. This is what I do. Buy that support level, put the stop loss, let this thing run. When it's out of there, just don't get greedy. Sell half, or sell all here, and then just get out. Because even if I played this setup, it would have barely survived because it would have the stop loss. I mean, right? Long it, and if it crashes, yes, everyone would be upset about that. But then it survived, and then just sell it, right? If you're a day trader, at some point, just got to sell into profit. All right. So that's just some advanced strategies, some stuff that I like to show people with the indicators. But the basic fundamentals that we can't forget about is just support, resistance, 552, 510, 482, support, levels, 425, $4, right? So when you just look at it this way, it's a little bit more simple. As long as it's uptrending, we can use these EMAs as supports on the way up. So just be aware that the first hour, 30 minutes of the market is going to be insane trading for these 4 tickers probably. And just always remember to play a chart pattern or strategy. No random trading. That's how people lose a lot of money, right? Don't just focus on your phone looking at this. Yes, there's 74%, and that's great. That's great. But how am I going to play it, right? What strategy am I going to use? What's my position size? What's my risk, dollar risk? What's my reward in dollars? What's my risk reward ratio? All of that calculated before the trade just takes like 2 minutes. So before market opens, I like to prepare that and then analyze, prepare like I'm doing right now. It's almost like a live analysis. training session. Okay, let's just do some crypto. And then if you have a question, just let me know. But I think I might have covered some of what people were wondering about. Let's go to crypto. Okay, crypto's obviously quieter because we're all trading the meme stock mania today. But let's not forget about crypto. Okay, so TOTAL on the daily, still consolidating, but this might turn into some kind of upside down head and shoulders. I kind of like this. Higher low, that's okay with me. 2.1 trillion upside down head and shoulder potential, but that's the bullish scenario. Bearish scenario is it crashes down to 2 trillion or 1.9. You can see it's kind of below the EMAs, and we just don't want it to crash that hard. So just watch out for that. Bitcoin futures, again, it's a little more clear on futures, the potential upside down head and shoulders that I've been talking about for about a week or two now. So this was a little easier to see. 66.7K is the resistance, 70K, 75K is the resistance to the upside, 61K, 60, and 57 are the supports. So now that that's kind of locked in, all I have to do is put a trend line on top, resistance, trend line bottom, support, and just carefully watch this to see if this is going to break out or not. Quick reminder, it's still in the death cross on the 4-hour. On the hourly, it's kind of going back and forth between golden cross or not. So that's something I'm watching out for. Ethereum USDT, yes, it's in the downtrend pulling back, but you can feel it on the charts. There's a MACD momentum. I don't know if other people can see this, but then I see this. It's going down, but the MACD histogram, it's actually building. The weekly's not really there yet. So this is more like a swing trade or a what is it? Day trade potential, right? Still in the death cross. This is a lot more risky than obviously an uptrend. And here's a good spot to do some education. Is when I see a chart like this, doesn't matter what it is, crypto, stocks, ETFs, Forex, is when it's uptrending, there's a higher chance in this box it's going to be a long trade, right? Even without the indicators. All of a sudden, the price starts going up like this, uptrend potential. And then the EMAs confirm it when it crosses, then buy on the pullback, and then go. Set by risk to reward ratio. This is obviously longer term trade, but February, March, April, it's where I made a majority of my profits in crypto, right? That's how we do it. But when it starts fading down in this box number 2, like this, starting to downtrend, there was potential, it's like orange color, yellow color. And then when it death crosses, it's higher chance it's going to go down. And the short, we short it down from a rejection on the top and let it go down. But right now, it's actually kind of going sideways to downward trend. You can see it like this. I'm talking about the very short term sideways, like these 2 days or weeks in May, right? Start to go sideways in May. So if this turns to a nice double bottom, there's still that potential trade here to go up to maybe about 3,100 or 3,000. That's something I'm watching very closely. So we have to hold the support level 28 and 28.50 and 28. For that potential. Just my mic here. So as long as we hold above, if we could break above 3,000, we can have a nice breakout continuation. However, if we fall below 28, probably going to crash to about 26, maybe even down to 2,000. Do one more. Or do 2 more. Do Solana. Again, Solana, same deal. Maybe it's upside down head and shoulders like Bitcoin. If it's true. Potential 20% if it breaks out. Target top side 188. second target like 210. However, if it rejects, you can see might start to pull back here to like 137 to 120 area. That's the level support. Let's do Cardano. Cardano support in the 618. The only reason I'm watching this, yes, it's death cross, but it's in the 618 Fibonacci zone, which is about 43 cents. So if we could hold 43, and if this turns into, yes, it's a descending triangle, but there's 20% volatility in either direction. So 20% to 55 or 20% to the 34 cent target to the downside. So just watching that very closely. Will 43 cents hold? Yes or no? That's the only decision I have to make on that. Okay, everyone. Just going to do a stream. I tried to go short, but it went super long today. I'll try to shorten it for next time. Thank you for watching. Do you have a question? I know somebody's watching right now. Do you have a request or question before we sign off for today? Okay, that looks like that's everything for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this stream, if you learned something, go ahead and click like, subscribe on YouTube, leave a nice comment. And if you have a request for the next live stream, just let me know in the comments of the YouTube. And always remember, risk-reward ratio on whatever you're doing, stop loss, profit target, whether that's alerts or that's a actual OCO order. And happy trading, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.